Welcome back to Infamous Sports Talk Episode 2. We're back, we're live, joined yet again by my illustrious co-host Kyle here.
Yes, sir. We're thriving. We're thriving out here.
We're thriving, it's been a great day, a lot of juices are flowing, so I'm expecting a great episode here tonight. A lot of talk about in the sports world. I'm glad some shit happened today, so we had some stuff to talk about. One of those stories that happened was DeAndre Hopkins unfortunately got suspended. It says here the Cardinals Pro Bowl wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins is being suspended 6 games for violating the NFL's performance enhancing drug policy. League sources
He's
tell
off the
ESPN.
juice.
So yeah, Adam Schefter broke the news. Any Are you concerned with this? Is this upsetting you? Did this ruin your day, Kyle?
I woke up today. I
Mm-hmm.
woke up an Arizona Cardinals fan.
You're going to sleep.
I'm going to sleep tonight, an Arizona Cardinals hater. So,
I mean, you
yeah,
can't stand
really,
cheaters,
it's turned my world upside down to say the least.
right?
No, but on a real note, you just gotta hope DeAndre Hopkins wasn't doing anything too bad. Maybe somebody slipped some speed into his drink, a little Wes
Mm-hmm.
Walker.
Little Wes Walker.
Um, Yeah, I don't know. You just gotta hope he's not juicing and not doing
Mm-hmm.
a bad,
Not
because
doing a
that
bad.
could be bad.
It could be bad. So as a Yankees fan yourself, you're used to dealing with stuff like this. How do you think after this is all said and done, he can really get over the hump? You know?
Yeah, I'm used to dealing with stuff like this because the Astros cheated their way to the World Series a few times, taking us out
Yeah.
of the way multiple times.
Right.
Ridiculous. But
Shameful.
I've actually forgot the question that made me so emotional.
I was
So
just
can
saying, like, no,
you
as a
hit me
Yankees
with
fan
it?
yourself, dealing with cheating scandals and cheating in the past, how do you think DeAndre Hopkins can really get over this big hump in his hurdle in his life and career?
It really just depends what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if it was full blown cheating, it's just gonna be rough for like him to really get past it.
Okay.
But if it was just something small, something accidental, then he'll get back on that football field and maybe he'll be
Continue to
better
shine.
than ever after a little break.
Yeah, so we're going to move on here because it does appear that he is stating it was a mistake and it's nothing that he was aware of. So I'll read this. I will try to read this. In my 10-year NFL career, I have never tested positive for using performance enhancing drugs. To learn that my November test came back from trace elements of a banned symptoms, I was confused and utterly shocked. I'm very mindful of what I put in my body, and have always taken a holistic approach. So I'm working with my team to investigate how this could have happened. But even as careful as I have been, I clearly wasn't careful enough. For that, I would like to sincerely apologize to Cardinals fans, my teammates, and the entire Cardinals organization. I never want to let my team down. I fully intend to get to the bottom of this. As soon as I have more information, I will share it. Stated as DeAndre Hopkins. Did I do good there? Was that a good read? I have a
Uh,
few stumbles, a few stumbles. I had a lot
I
of
mean,
spit in
it
my
wasn't
mouth.
the best I've heard, but
Yeah.
it was you gave it a shot. I mean, you can never hate a man for stepping up to the plate and
Mm-hmm.
taking a swing.
So he states it's just a bunch of hoopla. He's gonna get to the bottom of it though, so he's getting on a Sherlock Holmes vibes. He's gonna get to the bottom of this. He's investigating. I'm not sure what he's gonna get to. So yeah, he's basically just saying it's bullshit. So I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
see
you
how
would
it
figure
goes.
they probably would. Most athletes would, and hopefully he's right. So yeah,
Yeah, he wouldn't expect him to be like, yeah, I took a few steroids, and I am I ashamed a little bit. Would I do it again? Probably. That's probably when you wouldn't. What, let me try that again. That's probably what you would not expect them to say. So him saying this isn't shocking. But yeah,
it's a win and a miss, but
I
he
tried.
gave it
One
another
for two at the
shot.
plate. I mean, it's all right.
Hey, 500 is
500 is
good.
not bad. That's a Hall of Fame player. That's like the greatest player of all time. So
You
I'm
put
okay with
Barry
that.
Bonds in the dirt. Speaking of cheating,
Way to call that back. All right, we're gonna move on to some D Hop stats here. As you can see, his illustrious Hall of Fame career up to this point. He's had 1,000 yard seasons in 6 of his NFL seasons. Last year he was hurt, so he didn't produce as much as he would like. And even though he didn't, have the most yards, he still had 8 touchdowns, more than his season last year. He had 14 yards. It's a fun stat. But yeah, I mean, even when he was playing, I don't think he was playing to like a D Hop levels. He was having some pretty quiet games, but he's still their best option, best receiver, and obviously gonna be a big hurt to this team, right? Would you agree? not having him.
Yeah, it was kind of weird the way that he was being utilized last year. So I don't know if they were planning on going back to D-Hop like the year prior.
Hmm.
But yeah, it definitely doesn't hurt. It doesn't help the team losing your best receiver.
Yeah, that makes them getting Hollywood
It did
look,
at least,
a little
yeah,
better, at least.
yeah. Maybe they knew about what was going on and they scooped Hollywood
Yeah.
because
Well,
it is weird. I mean, they got receivers, so they did lose Kirk, but
yeah. I mean,
they got some targets out there.
if they would
Uh,
have paid Kirk that
I
much
mean,
money, God forbid.
yeah.
Jesus Christ, fraudulent. What were you saying? Was it about to be important, groundbreaking stuff? I
No,
apologize for
no, I
stepping in.
pretty much no, you're fine. I got all
Okay.
my thoughts on this out pretty much. So
All right. Well, we'll move to
yeah.
their depth chart here. Take a look at what they're working with without a big old D Hop. Obviously, Kyler quarterback James Conner. Looks like they did lose Chase Edmonds to a team I'm not aware of. But they have Eno Benjamin as their second string. Don't know who that is. And the guy they drafted, Keontae Ingram, out of the
He went
University of
to
Southern Cal.
Arizona State, I do believe.
It's a good
You know,
fucking
Benjamin.
pool. That's a
I
good damn
believe.
pool.
I hope I'm not lying, but if my memory is striking me correct, Benjamin is an Arizona State guy.
Is he a this year drafted guy? Was he a pick or is he like a?
No.
Ooh, I don't know how I've never heard of this guy, but we'll see. Onto the receiving core. Looks a little bit grim after losing D Hop, but not bad. They got a Hollywood from that trade, obviously, on draft night. AJ Green, who played better than most people thought he probably would last year. He's a bit of a geezer, but he can still reduce. Rondell Moore's a little midget that flies around the field, coming into his second year. Their second string receivers. I mean, they have Andy Isabella, who has a woman's name, so I mean, I don't know how they feel about that over there in Arizona. And the other two, I have no idea. Do you have any thoughts on their big core receivers here?
Uh, Personally, I see great things in Andy Isabella's future.
Okay.
But I mean, they're fine. They still got Marquise, AJ, and Rondell, and I mean, they got Zach Ertz, and now they got Trey McBride at tight end. So there's just two more
Mhm.
targets. They got some targets. Uh, Obviously you want DeAndre Hopkins back, like I said, but
Mhm.
they're not hurting in the pass catching department, I wouldn't say.
No, and they got Hodge. I think that might be from the Browns, unless there's two Hodges in the league. But he's a fourth string receiver, so I'm sure that won't matter. Might not even make the team. But yeah.
Yeah. Also, Benjamin, I believe, he was from Arizona State, and
Okay.
his rookie year was either last year or the year before. He didn't. If it was the year before, he didn't get any run in it.
Has he always been a Cardinal? Is he a card for
Yeah.
life? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
So we'll see if he takes the next step coming into this offense. Also, the tight end core is pretty loaded. They have like the three-headed monster now of Zach Ertz, McBride, and Max Williams, who got injured last season in the Niners game, who like broke his knee in half. So we'll see if he can come back and produce. And their offensive line is what it is. Will Hernandez, is that the Will Hernandez from the Giants? I need to check on that, balls while you do that. Thank you.
Yeah, I can take a quick peek at that.
Take a peek at that. They got Rodney Hudson, the geezer. Justin Pug or Pugh, Pug, whatever his name is. He's a great player. DJ Humphrey is holding down that left side of the line, and Kelvin Beachem on the right side. So not a bad O
Woo
line.
woo! Breaking
Breaking
news.
news.
That is
Okay,
the that is the Will Henderson from from the
Hernandez.
Giants
Not
or
you
Hernandez. I
got
don't
it.
know why I said Henderson. Just
Nice.
I'm
Thank
just
you
a
for
really
that.
big I
Hmm.
can't think of a Henderson. I'm a bit
Um,
really big Ricky Henderson
Aaron
fan.
Hernandez.
And
Oh, that's Hernandez.
all right, let's just move on
Okay.
there because we're just lost.
Okay,
So
so yeah, Will Hernandez is now a Cardinal. Looks like he was a bit of a bust for the Giants as they didn't want to sign him, but that's okay. We'll see if he can prosper in the deep, dirty west of Arizona. But other NFL news besides D Hop breaking today was the Honey Badger, aka Tyrann Mathieu, going to the Saints, his hometown. He went to LSU. LSU kid coming home. That's great. On a 3-year, $33 million contract, including $18 million fully guaranteed. Um, what are your thoughts on the Badger heading down home to the Dirty Birds? Not the Dirty Birds. That's the Falcons. What are the Saints?
here are the Dirty Saints,
The Dirty
and
Saints.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it really impacts the league too much. It's cool for Tyrann Mathieu to go back down to good old Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but
Right.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna really change the Saints' trajectory.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good pickup. I mean,
Trajectory would probably have been the word
trajectory.
there.
I mean, you
Yeah,
got there in the end. I mean, it's a good pickup, good veteran pickup for this team. So, he'll probably produce. He's still a top safety in the league. But yeah, moving on to
yeah,
your.
and nothing against the Honey Badgers. Just I don't think it's gonna be some big game changer for the Saints to change them maybe in like a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, God, no, they have James Blind Winston at quarterback. I mean, nothing's changing
Whoa,
that.
LASIK.
LASIK, he's not blind anymore, but he still sucks. So that's unfortunate. He did have a decent year, but we'll see. Their defense though. Let's take a little bit of a deep dive into the defense. They have a guy named Shy Tuttle as one of their D tackles. I don't hate that name. But of course,
That'll
Duddle. Okay, they have Jordan
that'll
Davenport coming off the edge. It's a main pass rush. If you're going against that, Demario Davis, one of the best linebackers in the league, and now their secondary gets a little more stacked. They got Matthew and May that they got from the Jets as their safety duos. It's pretty elite if I say so myself. And then at cornerbacks they got P.J. Williams, Lattimore, and a guy named Paulson
Yeah,
Adibu.
Paulson Adebo, Stanford guy.
Mm.
He's someone that could be solid.
Is he a draftee
Oh,
or is he just has he been in the
nah, he's
league?
a second, third year.
Ooh, okay. You see big things in his future. You a
Something
big
in there.
Paulson Adibo guy?
I kind of like Paulson Adebo, so
Okay, I like the name
yeah,
though
I
a lot.
don't
Big
don't
name
hate
guy.
it. They also got C.J. Gardner Johnson too. Speak on their safeties there, so it's just
Oh man.
another guy they can rotate in and out. They got a big three-headed monster there.
Yeah, their defense is
Probably
always stacked. Just the Saints
yeah.
meta. What they
They
like
got
to
they got
run.
a good defense. Yeah,
I think
they
they're
got a good line. Got some linebackers. And got
yeah
a decent, pretty solid secondary. Better than decent.
better and decent. They picked up a few dudes. They picked up my Niner, Contavious Street, big boy down there in the trenches, a nice rotation piece. They got Sorensen, who Chiefs fans hate. He's a white safety who doesn't do a lot in coverage. He's pretty shit, but we'll see if he can revitalize his career down here in the South of New Orleans. Bradley Roby looks like he's fallen down the depth chart like shit. I think he's a former Texan, but um,
Yeah, big Roby, man.
it's unfortunate.
His good old days on the Broncos. They also
Yeah,
got Peyton Turner, who's someone that could potentially come in and do some things for them. A young guy with some potential.
yeah. I'll point out the extreme bust at the fourth string on the left defensive end there, Taco Charlton. He was a first round pick for the Cowboys. He's been around the league a little bit, and it looks like he's on his way out, pretty much. Besides, if this might be his last stop. But unfortunate with the name
The
Taco.
taco trucks here to come and here to
Hmm.
stay.
I hope so,
They probably
because I
should
love
here
that
to
guy.
here to stay and not here to go. Something. I don't know. It
He
sounded
killed
better
it.
in my head.
No, I think you executed pretty nice. I don't hate that. But
I
yeah, that's the
appreciate that.
Saints. That's Matthew. What a team. That's about it for our NFL news portion of the show. Moving on to the big basketball
Let's go
portion.
take a good old left turn to our good friends in Utah, the good old Jazz.
Yes, take a trip to the association. Breaking from Legion Hoops here on Twitter. Breaking news: Rudy Gobert is reportedly at the him or me stage, and will demand that one of them be traded from Utah. So Rudy Gobert is getting traded. Um, I mean the whole him or me. I mean, do you think there's any chance the Jazz trade Don Mitchell unless it's for like LeBron James or something?
I
I
mean,
don't know.
I could see there being a chance. I'm not quite on the it's 100% going to be Gobert.
I'm on the Gobert
But
train. I won't lie.
yeah, I mean, I'd say it's definitely more likely it's Gobert in that situation.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see. We're gonna move on to his tweet though, which might change things. It says every day has its own new rumor. I mean, this definitely could be a rumor, but I just think it should be a fact because the team isn't working. It hasn't worked. It's not going to work. So they have to make a move, and I think Gobert is the thing that makes sense. He's not really a big key in their playoff success. Teams kind of just play around him being, what would you say, like not usable
Not
really
the
in the playoffs.
It's just people teams can five out him. They could try to get him away from the rim, try to make him less important. And if you can neutralize him like that, then it's just he's not as big of an impact player.
Yeah. What did Jason Kidd say that they didn't play for the Suns like they did the Jazz because they actually have centers that can make shots? Not a
Oh,
shot.
He took a shot at Hassan Whiteside and Rudy Gobert, saying something about how, yeah, I think he was talking about their defense or something too. I don't even
Oh,
know
you can pull that
exactly
up
anymore.
if
I
you
can't
want,
remember
and
it, but
I'll
I'll see if I can find it.
pull that up and I'll just go on a little bit about Gobert. So yeah, he's probably getting traded. The Mavericks kind of bullied him because they have all shooters on their team, so they kind of five outed, took advantage of him not being able to really be out there in the wing playing defense to contested shots. So they kind of took him out of the series, and that's kind of what every team does against them, and it fucks them every time. And that team isn't going to work. Donovan Mitchell's their star. Rudy Gobert has been a nice piece. He's great at defense. He has long wingspan, a non-COVID believer, some say, from France. But yeah, it looks like he's going to be on the move. I would assume. I don't know how you could bring that team back, how it is now, and expect anything different, but we'll see. Have you
I do
found
have
that,
the
Jason?
quote from
Okay, let's hear it.
yeah, I got the quote from Jason Kidd. He said on this is him talking about the
Okay,
second round here. This is before the game today.
right.
Uh, he said our game plan for the Jazz isn't gonna work against the Suns. This isn't Gobert or Whiteside. These guys can put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, so this there, I mean, he's not wrong really. And they have two big centers who can't make shots to save their life unless it's a lob or a sorry layup. So I agree with Coach Kidd there, but yeah, that's the Gobert tweet. And as we move on to this other Gobert part of our show, big Gobert show today. We're gonna go through five possible trades that I found that might go down. We'll give our thoughts on if it's possible and well, it'll even happen. So our first team here is the Bulls, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna read most of this. I'll read the second paragraph to see if I can get a better understanding for why they'd want to do this. Imagine the possibilities for Chicago with Gobert patrolling the paint with Ball and Caruso hawking the perimeter. It's the perfect complement to offensive dynamos Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. Chicago's new starting lineup of Ball, Caruso, LaVine, DeRozan, and Gobert would seemingly have no holes in it from a two-way perspective. I would absolutely love this idea for Chicago, and they should be blowing up the Jazz's phone this summer if this seems plausible. And the trade here at the bottom would be Vucevic, Patrick Williams, Kobe White, and draft compensation for Gobert. Is this a trade you'd see or like to see? Is this a good fit?
Yeah, I like it from the Bulls side, and also these trades where we're not gonna know if they gonna actually officially work,
I
but I'm
think
sure
they
there's ways they
might.
can make them
I
work.
think they would. I think the guy
There's just a lot of
could do it.
intricate things that like a lot of articles and stuff will miss when it
Yeah.
comes to like how trades can actually work with like the salaries and stuff. But yeah, I think this is honestly if Gobert was to get traded, I think the Bulls would be a good fit for him because that's just a team that has a lot of good defenders that can kind of
Hmm.
play like if Gobert's they're trying to play around Gobert, it's going to be harder for a team to like let's say do what the Mavs did to the Jazz than if Gobert was on the Bulls, it'd be harder for the Mavs to do what they were doing
Yeah.
to the Jazz than the Bulls.
How do you see it for
But
the
this trade
Jazz?
itself, yeah, this trade itself, I don't really know if I don't think the Jazz would be too interested in this.
Hmm.
Vucevic is he's an interesting player. I don't know if he's quite the one for the Jazz, and especially when they're trading Rudy Gobert. And Patrick Williams is cool, and Kobe White has some potential too. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's the best package the Jazz could get back. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a possibility. Those are the Bulls. I mean, it'd be good for the Bulls, the Jazz. I don't know. We'll see what they value him at. But moving on to our next team here, also in the Eastern Conference, would be the Knicks, and this is a long, goddamn story. Um, I'll start at the third paragraph here. New York's current roster has ample flexibility to turn it all over again by 2023. If the Knicks clear out all their contracts with team options and expiring deals, sans something. I mean, is that a typo? Or am I just an idiot? Can you let me know? What is this word? SANS? Sans?
um,
It's not a word. I'm skipping over it. The young
okay.
core, they will have a max slot open for the loaded 2023 free agent class. Would Gobert and RJ Barrett be able to sell a star on New York if holy shit, if Barrett takes the leap forward that many expect, that's a fun big wing duo to build around long term. Utah will likely want at least another young asset or two in return as part of this projected blockbuster, but the framework is strong enough to build off it. And the trade would be the Jazz get Randall, Alec Burks, and Quentin Grimes, logo draft compensation, and the Knicks would get Gobert. And I think this is honestly a worse trade for the Jazz than it is than
I
the
just don't like it
yeah.
all around.
This is yeah.
It's just it doesn't to me it doesn't make the most sense for either side. I don't think the Knicks are gonna swing for Gobert, and I just don't think the Jazz want Julius Randle and company.
Yeah,
It just doesn't really seem
I mean, if you
that
were
great.
doing the Bulls or the Knicks, I think you, if you're the Jazz, you'd definitely take the Bulls trade over than this one. I mean, because who the fuck really
Yeah,
wants
you
Randall
know.
or
Yeah,
Brooks or I mean,
Randall's not. I mean, Knick fans believe Randall has the trade value of
a
somebody that
superstar?
you just would be. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and he's
Uh,
not there.
he's not that.
He's
He
not that
doesn't
guy.
have that kind of value,
He's not that guy.
and yeah, I mean, I just it doesn't. I don't see the Knicks going after Gobert, and I don't see the Jazz going after Julius Randle or wanting something from the Knicks really.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, the Knicks might love Gobert and they might throw the fucking house at the Jazz, which would include more people or different assets than what it's listed here. But only time will tell as we move on to our third of five teams of possible Gobert trades. It's also another team in the East is the Atlanta Hawks. All right, here we go in our reading bag again. For Atlanta, they are ready to win right now with Young leading the way. With Young, Kevin Hutor, DeAndre Hunter, Onika Ngakwe, and Jalen Johnson, they have a young core that's ready to take the next step. Why did they throw Jalen Johnson there? Is he has he been
Yeah, that
playing?
really threw me for a loop right there.
Okay,
Jalen
Jalen
John, yeah.
Johnson. Yep, their young core. Ready to take a step, the next step. Gobert brings a star piece to an organization that has the urgency to compete right now in the East, and they'll want to bounce back after how they crashed and burned to end their 2022 season. Also, the Hawks had the NBA's 26th ranked defense this season, allowing 122.1 points per 100 possessions, so adding a three-time Defensive Player of the Year could be just what they need. It wouldn't be a surprise to see a player of Young's caliber push for Gobert to join him in Atlanta too, with all the trade rumors swirling around Collins since he signed a 5-year extension. This still makes a lot of sense for both sides to explore further. And the draft listed below is the Jazz getting Collins and Danilo Gallinari and draft compensation for Gobert. Is this a trade that would be possible or even likely? I don't really think so, but
Um,
I mean,
well,
I don't know.
the one issue is it's a little blurry for me, so I can't exactly see the details of the trade. But yeah, I think that the Hawks aren't a bad fit for Gobert. It kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah,
Someone that could shore up the defense a little more and really help them on that front, especially if they can find the right coach that can utilize Gobert in better ways in the playoffs and stuff when a team tries to make him go to the perimeter.
are you allowed to see the screen now? Is
Yeah,
it
I'm good
okay?
now.
So
Yeah,
Collins
I don't
Gallinari is that?
know.
I mean,
Yeah, I think that's honestly not terrible for both sides, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. If
The
I was the
Hawks just gave
Hawks,
him the
I would.
contract, right? Collins the big fat 5-year contract. Would they be really trying to
Yeah,
trade
they
off
gave
after one
him.
year? I don't know.
Well, there was like controversy if they even wanted to sign him at the beginning of it. Like they kind of
Yeah,
were considering letting him walk potentially. So
I mean he
I
wanted
don't
a
know if they're
fat
the biggest
contract.
fan of the contract. And Rudy Gobert is like the defensive kind of guy that they could be missing. So I could see them taking a swing on a trade like this.
Yeah, I mean their defense has been pitiful for a long time now. Trae Young obviously doesn't play defense. He gets taken out of like end game situations where they're like on defense because he's a little boy who can't play defense, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I mean getting Gobert in the center in the paint to play some lockdown paint defense and not allow people just to drive on Trae Young like with ease. I mean I could see
Hmm.
it, but we'll see.
Yeah, my thing about Gobert is I feel like you need the right coach around him to really like use him to his full ability defensively and like the playoffs and stuff. In the regular season, teams aren't gonna be doing everything they can to take him out the game, but in the playoffs, I feel like you want a coach that can find a way to utilize him better. So
Yeah.
that kind of is what is the pending thing on if Gobert is going to be worth it for a team in my eyes.
Yeah, it's also up in there if they're even going to bring back Nate McMillan for the Hawks. I mean, he people were calling for his neck right now after this season and these playoffs, so we'll see if he's still around. But that's a possible trade for Gobert to the Hawks. Will it happen? We'll see. But we're going to go out to the West Coast now for our fourth trade here, as I will continue to read like an absolute faisant. Jonathan Kaminga is likely off limits for the Warriors' perspective, flashing to real two-way potential throughout this season. However, what about a combination of Moses Moody and James Wiseman Instantly, Utah can replenish their young core with two immediate contributors to place alongside Mitchell's long-term deal. Throw in some future draft picks, and the Jazz might be the ones who are ready to press accept on this hypothetical trade. Golden State's new age lineup of dominance would simply be unfair. Take a look at this Warriors projected lineup with Gobert, Curry, Poole, Thompson, and Green. Uh, what the fuck? With Gobert and Gobert. Okay, yeah, I read it wrong. It's on me. I'll take the foul on that. With all the versatility on display here, they could vault Golden State into a different stratosphere entirely. Isn't that fun? Okay, so the trade they have proposed is Wiggins, Wiseman, Moody, and a future draft compensation for Gobert and Rudy Gay. Is this something you'd hate to see like me, or is this just,
I mean, I think it's a really solid fit for Gobert because I think Steve Kerr would probably find a way to utilize him, and that's just the kind
scary,
of team that would get it done.
spooky?
And yeah, I also don't know why. I really don't think the Warriors are going to view Kuminga as untouchable, but maybe, maybe they're feeling down like that down in the Bay.
Mm,
But yeah, I don't hate this trade for the Warriors. I think it's definitely something they could consider they would consider doing. I don't
yeah,
know if the Jazz are necessarily trying to target Andrew Wiggins and the boys, but I mean, really any trade's possible with enough picks. But
yeah.
I mean, the Jazz are trying to also compete. I don't think they're gonna want to take a year off or something. So I don't really know. Maybe the Warriors could work a deal. Maybe the Jazz are high on Andrew Wiggins,
They could be high on Wiseman
but
too. I mean, if they think he has a lot of
yeah,
potential, but
Wiseman and I mean, yeah, I like the idea of Wiseman and Wiggins and Moody.
mm,
I don't think that's a bad package. It just depends how the Jazz use it. And this is potentially one of the more realistic trades
yeah,
that we've seen so far.
yeah. I mean, that Warriors team would be absolutely spooky. With, I mean, the sweaty defense they got with Green. I mean, Klay Thompson's a great defender. Then you have Curry and Poole
Mhm.
just throwing up, hacking up shots with Gobert in the paint. I mean, that'd be a
I will
very
say
terrifying
the
team.
offense could be a little worrisome when they got Green and Gobert in together,
Yeah,
but I mean they could play off each other probably pretty well in the post with the Green's passing abilities, so who knows?
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to see this for the league's sake because I think if the Warriors go Gobert, it might be you know, a little terrifying
Yeah,
for other teams. But
give Curry a new pick and roll partner.
oh god,
Him and Gobert and him and Green, they can
uh,
switch off.
yeah, I can only imagine. That's possible. That's a possibility of something that could happen of this trade. We'll see where it goes if the Warriors want to make that move for the center of Rudy Gobert's caliber, but who knows? Moving on though, our last trade. If the Jazz want to send Gobert to straight poverty, this is something they could look to do, but we'll see. It's the Pistons, and this is the trade. It says for the Pistons, acquiring stars via the draft or trades is the only realistic route to obtaining a game-changing talent. We already saw it on display with their former resume when they traded for Blake Griffin, which led to little progress long term. Unlike Griffin, Gobert actually fits into the organization's long-term calculus. Is that calculus? Yeah, I read that right. Thank God. From the Jazz perspective, they would be asking for a heavy return from a team like Detroit. We're talking two key pieces to their core as well as veteran wing Jeremy Grant. Would the Pistons feel comfortable moving Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart for Gobert? That may be Utah's asking price. So this trade involves Grant, Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, Kelly Olynyk, and a bunch of picks probably for Gobert and Nikhil Alexander Walker. Is this? I mean, it'd be tough for Gobert, but if the package is right, could you see the Jazz doing this for all those players?
Believe it or not, I don't hate this, especially for the Pistons, to be honest, because maybe getting Cade, someone like Gobert, could really help him develop, and just like the guys they got. I mean, if I was the Pistons, I would do all I can to keep Sadiq Bey.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the Jazz are probably gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna need Sadiq, so I don't know about that. But I do kind of like this in both scenarios. I think Jeremy Grant's a little overvalued by people. He's not gonna be like a co-star on a really good team,
Yeah.
in my personal opinion. But they are getting some solid pieces. I don't know if the Jazz are gonna be too jazzy about this one,
I like
but
that.
I honestly weird enough. I do kind of like Gobert going to the Pistons as like a something to help develop the younger players on that team.
Yeah, it's
I
not
just don't
bad.
really see it as much for the Jazz's from the Jazz's perspective, even though Sadiq Bey would be a nice addition and Jeremy Grant wouldn't hurt. And Isaiah Stewart's cool.
And he's a
So
dog. They could add a dog down there in Utah, but yeah, I mean, honestly, any of these trades I think would be good for the Jazz because I mean, anything to get Gobert out of town, I don't see why you'd want to keep him after this
jeez,
year.
man.
I mean, literally any of these trades I think I would do if I was the Jazz, if I'm being honest, because it's not going to work. You got to trade him. You got to get something for him, especially if you get multiple picks from these teams. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't try to go after any of these, but we'll see which one really tickles their fancy. I don't know. We'll see. Is it the Pistons? Is it the Warriors? Is it the Hawks? Knicks? Bulls? Is it
Yeah,
none
if
of
you
those
were to
teams?
pick,
I don't know.
if you were to pick one of those trades that you think is the most likely to happen in the next, before the season starts,
Hmm.
what trade would you go? Would you go with?
If I was the Jazz,
No, just if you were just predicting what
oh,
most likely
predictions.
you think could happen,
If I'm being
like
honest, it'd be the
before the
Warriors.
season.
I think the Warriors makes the most sense because they always want to get better. They try to get better every year, and Gobert would obviously make their team a whole lot better on defense and just overall having an actual like stud center. I mean, losing Wiseman would, I don't know. I don't think it really hurt the Warriors. I mean, we haven't really seen his potential because he hasn't really played a whole lot of basketball since he's been in the league. But I don't know. I think that'd
Yeah,
also be good for the Jazz, seeing what they can do with him and see what kind of potential and what he's really got. But
yeah, I think
I don't know.
the Warriors are willing to include Wiseman in any trade for a big piece they could add to the core.
Yeah.
Which the Warriors, they got a few pieces. They got really all they need to add to a core. They got the contract and Wiggins. They got the pieces and Wiseman, Kaminga, Moody,
Mhm.
Poole. Like
They got a
they got
lot.
the young pieces. And they got the contract, so they
Yeah.
got picks.
They keep getting better, and it's unfair and it's fucked up. But
But yeah, no, I'd have to agree that the Warriors are probably the most likely out of these teams.
yeah. I don't
What
know.
I would want to see would probably be the Pistons because I
You
honestly
want to see
I
Gobert
think
and
it'd be
Popovich?
fun. I
Okay.
think it'd be fun to see Cade get someone like Gobert with him, and maybe they
Yeah.
could build a little bit with that.
Yeah, we'll see. I think Gobert's getting moved this offseason to what team? We don't know. It's just some fun trade rumors going on, but we'll see what actually happens in real life. But moving on to some NBA playoff basketball that happened over the past couple of days in the second round. The first game that happened on Sunday morning was the Bucks and the Celtics. The Bucks, um, I mean, surprisingly, I'd say won this game. Obviously, if no Chris Middleton, people were thinking the Celtics would take this series like handily, and especially getting one at home for the Bucks is pretty big. And that's with Giannis
Giannis looks like a
shooting terrible.
monster.
Yeah, Giannis didn't even have a great game shooting. Like he, Al Horford and Robert Williams like did a lot. Like actually, they clamped his ass down when he would try to drive, but he did everything else that you'd want him to do,
Yeah,
like passing.
it wasn't the scoring necessarily, but he just looked just like an animal out there. He looked just scary.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really do a whole lot shooting. He
And
went off
nine
for
for 25
25.
too, which is weird, but like he just looked good.
Yeah, I mean his defense, his playmaking was as good as I've ever seen it. I mean the he like pushed Tatum down, threw off the backboard, then dunked it. I mean
That play was crazy.
it's pretty terrifying when a man can do that. Yeah, I mean the Bucks still won at the Celtics home.
Drew Holiday did what we were saying he needed to do on our
Yeah,
NBA talk.
drop
Yeah,
25.
he came out and he gave him a good 25. It was on 20 shots, but it wasn't like too inefficient. He just
Hmm.
didn't really get to the line too much and doesn't hit a lot of threes, but he got enough points to help this team get to where they needed. They got a little bit of bench production, and
Yeah,
everyone contributed a bit.
I mean Bobby Portis has been playing like an absolute dog these playoffs. I mean this guy
Gave
defense,
him a
shooting, I
nice
mean scoring. I mean he's
nice
been really
15,
good.
cool
Yeah.
15.
So if you can be like the third best player on this team without Middleton, and you know score the rock, play some defense, give some heart, that'll help. And I mean I think it's good for the Bucks that they won this game without Giannis being like you know what he could be, like getting like 30 points just on a good efficiency. So I mean it's not bad for the Bucks. But yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
about it for
I mean,
this side
personally,
of
for
it.
me, whoever comes out of this series is probably going to the finals, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But we'll move on to the Celtics.
Should we do a prediction for each series, or
I mean, we did that in the NBA. I mean, we
Oh
couldn't
yeah,
go
that's a
over.
fair point. We did do that in the NBA. You're not wrong.
We didn't give our. I don't think we did the. What was the other series? The Warriors
We
and
didn't do the
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies and Warriors. We
Well, I
could
got
do
the
that
Warriors
once
in
we.
5. Just a
Okay, well we
spoiler.
can just hit that right here. Yeah, I think the Grizzlies are going to be more competitive than that, so I'll say the Grizzlies and six Gruelers.
Six Rulers. All right, we'll
Six
see.
Gruelers.
Um,
But yeah, if you want to see what we thought of our thoughts on the other
good
series, go
pool.
check out the NBA channel, and we talked about the series a little more in depth.
Yeah, I'll link that in the description. I got you guys. But yeah, moving on to the Celtics box score in this game. Tatum. I mean, no one really had a good game. I mean, Brown was pretty shit. Tatum was pretty shit. I mean, so if you're the Celtics and you lose this game, you could at least just say it was because your stars didn't play well. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to see a little more from the team in
Hmm.
general, especially Brown and Tatum. But yeah,
Didn't shoot the ball a whole lot well. A whole lot well. It's a good sentence. Makes sense. But yeah, they didn't really play well. There's a whole lot of defense going on in this game, and the Bucks pulled out at the Celtics. It's a big game for them if they want to win this series without Chris Middleton. We'll see if they can win the next game. But
yeah, game two is gonna be big.
yeah, big game two, which is going to be what today, as this is uploads tonight, I guess.
Yeah, it should be yeah, the day that this is uploaded
All
should
right,
be the game day.
we'll
So
see. Moving on to the Warriors and Grizzlies was the second game on Sunday. The Warriors pulled it out. Um, Curry gets 24. I mean, no one even on this side of the box score did anything crazy. I mean, Wiggins not a great efficiency. Clay not a great efficiency. I don't know.
yeah, just
Oh right, didn't even see Poole down there. Holy shit. 31 points for Poole. Okay, well there you go. There's your guy.
yeah, everyone else in the team just was they did good enough, did all right. Poole came out there and did his thing.
Yeah, I mean he's like a third star now for that team with in like the
Yeah,
backcourt. I mean it's
he's
terrifying.
their third scorer kinda. I mean Wiggins is also kinda that guy, but I mean really
Yeah,
they're all kind of that guy. They got four guys that can give you 30 on any night. So
yeah. It's a good
yeah.
team, great team. They win game one in Memphis. The Grizzlies look like this. Jaren Jackson finally has himself a great game in the playoffs, 33 points, along with Ja with 34. Desmond Bain doesn't do a whole lot in this game. Neither is Dylan Brooks. So I don't know. Is there anything here you are looking at or seeing that stands out?
Uh Just a good game from Ja and Jaren. I didn't watch this game until the very end, but I'm assuming Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bain were probably on like Curry, Poole, and Clay for the whole game. They're their guys
Yeah,
for that. So
not
yeah,
scoring a whole lot. They're more on the defensive side. You're saying like they're trying to play more defense than.
yeah. I mean, obviously you want to see them shoot a little better,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean the two dogs on
Two
defense,
dogs,
especially Dylan Brooks. That guy barks.
indeed. Yeah, the Warriors win game one. I have them winning the series, and we'll see how game two goes, which is also going to be tonight, I'm assuming. But yeah, moving on to our game that happened last night, the first game. The Sixers and Heat. The Sixers came out and actually looked like they might have a chance of winning this game without Embiid, but the Heat pulled away in the second half. Tobias had himself a nice game with 27 points. I mean, probably need more out of Maxey and Harden if you're ever going to want to win this series or win the games that Embiid isn't playing and they only get 16 and 19. And
You
I
you
propose this
need more out
question:
of
what the fuck
Harden.
happened to Harden?
Maxi gave you a cool 20. That's cool. It's Maxi. He's still on the way, but Harden is, I mean, that's someone that's literally averaged damn near 40 points a game.
I mean, what
Like, I
happened to
mean,
him? What did something?
he's
Did
just,
I miss
I don't
something?
know.
Is
He
he
hasn't been
broken?
the same guy. He's
Is he
just,
fat? Does he give up? I mean, I've never seen like a fall
I
off. Like, what the
don't
fuck
got an
happened?
answer for you, to be
Since he left the
honest.
Rockets, he's
It's
been
just
just
an odd
shit.
thing.
I mean, I don't know. I don't
I mean,
understand.
yeah, he was cool with the Nets last year.
I mean, when he was on the Rockets, if he dropped 16 points, that'd be like his worst game of the season. And now it's just like, oh, just a casual Harden game. Like, what the fuck? I feel like people
It's
aren't shitting
just
on him enough. He's been playing like ass.
it's weird. It's definitely weird because I mean, even like last year, Harden was still like giving you 24.6, and He was giving you 11 assists, or yeah, 11
Hmm.
assists. I mean, he was still pretty good. He could pop off if he needed to, give you some points.
Yeah.
But I
What's happened?
mean, yeah, I
Is he
this year
fat?
he's
Did he lay off the donuts? Is it
you
the
know the
cornrows? He
weirdest
needs the
part
mohawk
is
back?
too when he was on Brooklyn this year, he was still putting up almost the same amount of shots as he was on Brooklyn last year. And he got to Philadelphia, he's putting up 14 shots almost a game. He's been averaging 21 a game, which it doesn't seem like.
No.
Just
I
it's odd. He's not the same James Harden that we're used to, and it will be interesting to see if he gets back to that James Harden.
Yeah, that's the only way they're gonna win this series or even win anything
I mean,
if
this is
Harden
someone like
comes
two
back.
years ago. Like he went on a streak of 30, 30.4, 36.1,
Mm,
34.3. That
yeah.
was that was not very long ago.
And now
That was
he's struggling to get
just a
20,
couple seasons ago.
which is horrific. I don't know what's happened to Harden. He's become
I mean,
turning
it's
into
a
like a
different
playmaker. Like
situation, but
I don't know.
yeah, I think he wanted to kind of take like I'll help out the bros in Brooklyn. I'll let Kyrie and KD get it going. I'll let Embiid get going over here, but he needs to step up. He needs to, if they want to win this series, he's gonna have to play really good.
I mean, now they have the only one beat for at least the first two games, and he has to be like the superstar and do like I think most of the offense, most of the playmaking. He's like the third best player today. It's just not
Yeah,
good
I mean, he should be the best player. He should
easily,
be the best player in the game.
easily. But yeah, other than
Uh,
Harden sucking dick,
yeah,
Yang over 7 off the bench. He's been like decently shooting these playoffs, I think. So him not hitting a single three, which all of his shots were threes, isn't going to win you many games. Looks like they
I'm
were all
sorry,
pretty
but
bad from
that
three.
Sixers
Good God.
bench is just nasty.
Yeah, that's not good.
I mean, like
That's really not
Thibault's
good.
cool. I mean,
Whew.
Jake Milton is there.
Yeah, their bench is
Korkmaz is
horrific.
there. It's just not a pretty sight, though. It
Maybe if
really
they played
is.
Springer, maybe if Jay Springer got into the game, they would have gave him a lift. But yeah, not good. Isaiah
Yeah,
Joe.
yeah.
I mean,
Isaiah
good
Joe,
God.
Isaiah Joe was there. I mean,
Whew.
he showed up.
I mean, they shot 6 from
Charles Bassey
33
was
or
there. He's
34 from 3. I mean, that's never going to win you many basketball games shooting that poorly from 3. 17%. But yeah, not good. Not good at all from the Sixers standpoint. We're going to go to the Heat, though, who won this game. And they did what they had to do. Tyler Hero off the bench was making everything. Was an absolute
yeah.
spark to this team.
He
But
was good, really good.
very good. The Sixers could use him off the bench.
Um,
But,
yeah,
you know.
Gary Vincent put up some points for the boys.
Hmm.
It's actually blurry. Is that 10 or is that 19?
He dropped 10. 19.
Oh, I thought it was 19. Okay, that makes a little more. I was looking at it. I could make out his field goals and stuff, and I was like, How did you drop 19?" Yeah, okay.
You know, it is what it is.
Vincent did have a streak for a while at one point where he was looking pretty nice.
Yeah.
Not a bad player. The Heat just are good at making these kind of guys like just solid players.
Yeah. I mean, besides
Like
Bam and
yeah, a
Tyler,
lot of their players show moments of them just being good. Like they'll show something. Just the
right.
Heat's culture.
You know, they do what you need to do to win games. I mean, Oladipo played, didn't do a whole lot. He had 5 points, and they still won this game pretty handily at the end. Bam Adebayo has a good game, 8 for 10. He has a plus minus of plus 26, along with Max Strauss, who has a plus 27 plus minus. So I mean, if they just played those two the entire game, they'd have won this game by like about 60 points. But you know, the Heat take care of business at home without Embiid, which we're gonna get into now is the Embiid injury, which I took
Yeah.
them before
And
this
just
series
one
started.
more thing on
So
the Heat.
or
I
go
think
ahead.
Kyle Lowry is coming back in
Oh yeah, I
game
forgot.
two, I believe. So
Yeah, I forgot Kyle Lowry wasn't out there, his fat ass. But yeah, that'll be big
and
for the
also
Heat.
Duncan Robinson, I believe is injured. So
Oh, so they didn't have those two, and they still won pretty handily. Yeah, okay. Well, the Sixers are fucked. Um, so Embiid's not playing game 1 or 2. He's gonna either try to play in game 3 or 4. Looks like. I took the Sixers before the series, thinking Embiid would play. He's obviously not gonna be playing, so I'm probably fucked with that prediction. But we'll see. He has a mid-week projection to see his doctor, I guess, and he has his orbital fracture. But yeah, I don't know. Didn't he get injured in the game? Then it was like a blowout, and he was still playing, and he got injured in like garbage time. I mean, that's pretty terrible.
yeah. And also some interesting news. It looks like Duncan Robinson was actually just a coach's decision. It looks like he wasn't injured.
They didn't. Oh, why would they not? Isn't I mean, not even off the bench? I mean,
Maybe I don't know.
he's could light a spark at any time. Could get streaky and
He's a sniper.
make like 10 threes. But yeah, no Embiid, so this is obviously going to make this series not as interesting. If they go down like 2 or 2-0, 3-0, and if they go down that much, he probably won't even come back at all. But yeah, it's unfortunate that they even had to have this injury, especially in garbage time. And I think Doc Rivers' reason for him keeping him in the game was that the Raptors still had their starters out there, so keep his. But I mean, if it's that big of a blowout, I don't think there's really a chance, even if with their starters
Yeah.
out there, that it came back.
And
So
also a team, most teams are not gonna go. They're gonna go down fighting, even if they're down by a lot, like the Raptors were in an elimination game. You're gonna keep your guys in because you don't want to look like you're just giving up and you're just saying, all
yeah,
right, well we're not going anywhere. We're not going to the second round. I mean, you're gonna play them. It's the last game of the year for them.
yeah, I think it's a dog shit excuse that Doc Rivers put out there, but whatever. So Embiid's out. We'll see if he can come back and change the series at all, but it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, especially also with Embiid being a guy that's just been injury prone throughout his career. It's just kind
Yeah,
of weird to give him that extra run that he didn't need to get.
makes no sense. But yeah, the Heat got up 1-0. Well, they're probably gonna take control of the series without Embiid, but we'll see what can happen. As we go into the last game that happened last night, the Mavericks versus the Suns. It was pretty much the Suns the whole way. The Mavericks came back and tried at a few points, but the Suns would keep pulling away, and they ended up winning this game. Although Luka did score 45 points,
He put
no
up
one
his
else did shit
shots.
besides Cleveland. So, and I guess Finney
Luca
Smith.
was horking them things up.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna have to do similar things to what he did tonight if they're gonna win this series in my eyes. Especially when Brunson is only putting up 13 shots on shit efficiency, and Dinwiddie
Mhm.
isn't really doing a whole lot off the bench.
The Suns are just a tough team. They're
Yeah,
just like such a good, like disciplined, well-rounded team. It's just
hmm
gonna be hard to beat them.
yeah. It's gonna be tough for the Mavericks. I took the Suns. We both took the Suns in this series because of what you just said,
Yeah.
how good the Suns are and well balanced. But I mean, the only way they're gonna have a chance is if Luka puts up similar numbers and if Brunson plays like
They're
he
gonna
did.
need Maxey shooting the lights out too, and maybe even Bertans if he gets some more playing time. And they're gonna need more from Dinwiddie.
Yeah, Dinwiddie and Brunson need to be like the second and third stars, or
They
like
need to combine as a second star.
yeah. And 8 points and 13 points isn't gonna
And
cut it.
they're gonna need Bertans and Finney Smith to be that third kind of option. They're gonna need them hitting their threes.
Yeah, but the Mavericks tried. They lose game one to the Suns at the Suns. As we move on to the Suns box score. God damn, I just fucking spit right there. Um, Aiden has another big game. He's been playing really good these playoffs. Gets 25 points. Booker 23. Still coming off that injury. Chris Paul with 19, and then Cameron Johnson gets 17 off the bench. Everything else looks a little bit routine for this team. Just an
Yeah, all
overall
the
team
starters in
performance.
double digit.
Yeah,
Cameron Johnson with a big 17 off the bench. Campaign gives him a little nine. Just
hmm
everyone did their part.
yeah. Did you see that JaVale McGee said that he was the missing piece for why the Suns didn't win last year, or did you miss that big piece of
No,
news
I
today?
missed that
Hmm.
actually.
Well, that's breaking news. So if the Suns do go on to win this finals, just know it was
It's
all JaVale
Joel
McGee.
Embiid was, or yeah, not Joel Embiid. JaVale McGee was behind it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was the star they're missing. So
No, I mean he has played a pretty good crucial role in them because they needed a
yeah,
good
he
backup
has
center that had some size. But yeah, no, I
the
don't know
missing
about the
piece.
whole
I don't
missing
know.
piece part.
Yeah, I don't know
I
if I'd go
maybe
that far.
taking it a little farther, JaVale, but you do you.
Yeah. But yeah, the Suns win. I think they're gonna win the series. They're the better team. We'll see how it goes. And with that being said, that's about all we have for today's episode. Is there anything else on your mind in the sports world that you would like to get out there in the world, or does that
Uh,
pretty much do it?
no, not too many crazy stories going on right now. Some interesting rumors. DeAndre Hopkins potentially juicing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe an accident. Who knows?
Supposed.
Playoffs happen.
Hockey started
Yeah,
today, but I
I
just
think
don't
we
give a shit.
hockey.
But
Yeah, I'm trying to, but there's just a lot of like sports things to watch. Got my Yankees games every day that I've
of
pretty much
course,
got tuned into and playoffs. So
yeah, it was
hockey
pretty.
is something I want to get to, but
Maybe
it may
eventually.
not be something I end up getting to this year. Till I want to see my Kraken doing something.
Yeah, my Sharks are also shit. So a couple of terrible hockey teams that we're watching, but maybe next year is the year where they,
They
get a
take the
little bit
step
better,
and
take the step.
we get a little more into it. But yeah, I think it was a pretty solid episode. We touched on quite a few things. So
Yeah, it was a pretty
yeah,
mundane sports day in news. Besides the D-Hop news that came out, if that didn't come out, holy shit, would we be lost? So thanks D-Hop, but good luck in your recovery to come back and your suspension. But with that being said, a nice little episode here today. We'll be back on either Friday or Saturday morning for the next episode. With that being said, thanks everyone for watching, and so long.
we will be
Goodbye.
seeing you guys Friday night
Yep.
or Saturday.